San Diego 6 News in the morning. Your station for balanced news.
Well, the economy and the housing market has many San Diegans preoccupied and nervous.
Yeah.
Do you know all of your options? We have a real estate expert in this morning, fresh from a trip to Washington, to give us the very latest on foreclosures, short sales, and loan modifications.
Yeah, and he was actually here before he went to Washington. He gave us a preview of what he was going to talk about there, so it'll be interesting to see how it all went for him. So.
And it's great information because each person has a different situation, so maybe you can find the right one for you.
As San Diego's real estate market continues to teeter, one San Diego realtor took his concerns directly to Washington. Matt Battiata of the Battiata Real Estate Group was on the Washington, D.C. docket January 30th. He's back in town now, and he joins us live in studio with a recap of how this all worked out. Matt, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
A big trip for you. Obviously, you've been back now for a couple of weeks, but
Right.
I guess let's back up a little bit for our viewers who maybe didn't see you when you were here in studio, giving us a preview of what you were going to be discussing back there in Washington. Let's talk a little bit about why, the motivation behind going to Washington, D.C. to talk about the housing crisis here in San Diego.
I went there to give our elected officials in D.C. kind of an insight into what's happening here in San Diego, what's going on the front lines of the real estate market, what the banks have been doing to help revive the market, and most importantly, what they haven't been doing. And I think it was really necessary because I saw a lot of detachment from the actual reality of what's going on with the people that I talked to in D.C. So.
How would you say San Diego rates as far as the reality of what's really happening across the country right now with the housing market?
We're definitely one of the worst markets. I mean, that's the one thing, is it's not as bad as it is in San Diego in most parts of the country. But, Southern California, parts of Northern California, Nevada, Arizona, Florida, there are pockets. And it's even if for the markets, there are a lot of markets that are maybe only down 20 or 30%, which doesn't, compared to what we're down, doesn't sound like that much. But they're still affected by what's going on. And now, of course, it's not just our local economy. It's just not just the national economy. It's a global issue.
Yeah.
So
Everyone's
it's
being
huge.
affected.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of these recommendations that you made. How did it all go? How would you sum it up?
I think they're, for the most part, our elected officials were very receptive. There were some exceptions to that, unfortunately, but what I told them is that what we need to do to revive this market, number one, I said, people out there want to keep their homes. They want to do the responsible thing. And that was the biggest misconception, is that this issue is not just a few people that should have never bought a home and put zero down and are not being responsible. This is everybody, because our market in San Diego is down, in a lot of cases, over 40%. There's
Some
a lot
really
of pockets.
hardworking families out
even
there,
if you put 30% down, you're now upside down. And if you go into parts of Riverside County, the market's down over 70%. So it's a perfect storm now, and you've got people that no one's spending any money, so businesses are going out of business, and those people can't make their payments. So the suggestions that I made, the first one was that the government should, number one, drop mortgage rates, both for refinances and for purchases. That'll revive the market. The second thing is allow upside down borrowers to refinance down to those lower rates. One suggestion, when I met with Barney Frank's office and the House Finance Committee, they're still sort of on this tack of we should drop people's mortgage balances. And when I've sort of surveyed my clients, that's not appealing.
They'd rather just refinance.
Well, because you have to pay the money back.
Right.
So if they drop your balance only 20%, which is all they're talking about doing right now, when you go to sell your home 10 years from now and you actually have some equity, you have to give half that equity to the government. And so people don't want to do that. So the easiest thing that would cost the government absolutely nothing is simply to drop mortgage rates and let everybody refinance down to those rates.
Well, it sounds like a good plan to me. Why not? And of course, as we mentioned, you specialize in this. You have clients here in San Diego. So options, the key thing to remember here. If people want to talk to you, what's the best way? Should they just contact you?
The main thing is we need to stop foreclosures. And a lot of people out there do not want their homes to go to foreclosure. I started a free service, as you know, called the San Diego Mortgage Helpline, which people can access on the web, SanDiegoMortgageHelpline.com, or through the CW website.
Yeah, we have that.
But anyway, it gives them their options. They can do a short sale. They can hopefully do a loan modification. You do have options. The worst thing people can do is just absolutely nothing, stick their head in the sand, because unfortunately then you're going to go to foreclosure, and that's bad for everybody.
That's what we got to stop right now. All right. Well, Matt, I'm sure a lot of people out there appreciate you stepping up and going to Washington to speak on their behalf. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Of course, all that information on our website. Just go to SanDiego6.com and click on Hot Topics.